Teacher. Teacher. Teacher.
Okay, sir.
Start
Starting.
here. Start here.
Respected principal, honored guests, teachers, dear students, and all participants. Education is not only about gaining knowledge, but also about values, methods, and principles that guide us in our life. The Upanishads give us timeless wisdom that is still meaningful for teachers and learners today. Today, Marbasilus College of Education is hosting this webinar on educational principles, methods, and ethics in the Upanishad in collaboration with Vidyabhyasa Vikasa Kendram, Kerala. It is my great pleasure to welcome our respected principal, Dr. Sunit Kumar GN, principal of Marbasilus College of Education, Sultan Batheri. Welcome you, sir.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
It is a great honor to welcome our resource person, Dr. M. Santhosh Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Biochemistry, Kongunadu Arts and Science College, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. His area of research focuses on plant therapeutics and molecular medicine. He has undertaken research projects, received grants for seminars and conferences, and been recognized with awards like the Bharatiya Bhasha Award 2025 and the Summer Research Fellowship Award. He is also involved in various talks in Indian knowledge system and has other credentials like being a chief editor of a research journal. Sir, we are grateful for your presence and look forward to your valuable insights. I also take this opportunity to welcome Dr. N.C. Induchudan, State President of Vidyabhyasa Vikasa Kendram, Kerala. Welcome you, sir. A warm welcome also to Mr. B.K. Priyesh, Secretary of Vidyabhyasa Vikasa Kendram, Kerala. I also welcome Dr. Rajesh BP, Assistant Professor, CT Kodamalur, and Convener, Teacher Education, Vidyabhyasa Vikasa Kendram. Welcome you, sir. I warmly welcome Dr. Vijay K. Ramakrishnan, Principal, Indira Gandhi College of Arts and Science, and Co-Convener, Teacher Education, Vidyabhyasa Vikasa Kendram. Finally, I extend my heartfelt greetings to all my dear colleagues, students, and participants who have joined us. I'm sure today's session will be a very enriching and inspiring for all of us. Thank you. Over to Santhosh sir. Please continue session.
A warm namaskaram to all the academicians, faculty members, and future teacher students of Mars Basilos College of Education, which is located in the Sultan Batheri, Wayanad, Kerala. And I congratulate and appreciate the internal quality assurance cell of the college and also Vidyabhyasa Vikasa Kendram, Kerala, which is a voluntary organization working in the field of education, especially for the Indianization concept of education. So I take the opportunity to thank the management and principal of Mar Basilios College of Education, Wayanad. And the given topic for today is educational principles, methods, and ethics in Upanishads. This topic is very essential at this point of time, especially after the implementation of National Education Policy 2020. Because NEP 2020 promotes the inclusion of Indian knowledge system across the curriculum, starting from the school education up to higher education level. Even in research, Indian knowledge system will be unavoidable in the days to come because India is now going back to its roots to understand the philosophy of education, goal of education, and the ultimate aim of education, which is nothing but attaining the knowledge, leading the happy life, and finally giving back to the society. This is the ultimate goal of Indian knowledge system. I am unable to move the slides. Is it moving now?
No, sir.
Now is it moving?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it okay now? Does it move?
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, so coming into knowing the meaning or definition of Upanishads, we all know that this land Bharat, that is India, is a land of knowledge. We, the people of Indians, for millennia, have been searching for the true knowledge through the Vedas. So we have 4 important Vedas: Rig, Yajur, Sama, and the 4 Vedas includes Rig, Yajur, Sama, and also we have 13 Upanishads. The Upanishads are nothing but the end point of the 4 Vedas, and also the Upanishads are the treatises which do not talk about God. Upanishads always promote the philosophy of human values and the spiritual practices. That is what for Upanishads are known. And Upanishads are very much ancient Sanskrit texts which are part of the 4 Vedas: Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharvan Vedas. In all the 4 Vedas, Upanishads are found. And these Upanishads discuss about the values, that is life values, ideas of the divine God, and the characteristics of a teacher, goal of education principles, etc. So they have deep spiritual ideas, and also they guide us to travel from this material life to the ultimate heavenly life. This is the idea of the Upanishads. And they have a core principles of the Vedic rituals as well as philosophy. And all the Upanishads represent a mine of strength, that is a repository of inner strength, that is Atma Bhalam. And they are remaining sources of profound spiritual power which can revitalize the entire world, which will finally lead to freedom at all the 3 levels: physical, mental, and spiritual level. Many people may think that Upanishads may talk about religion, Upanishads may talk about God. It is not like that. Upanishads are completely away from the religious faith. They have profound knowledge about the inner personality, holistic development, and also attaining the divine qualities in the individual. So they teach the universal truth. The universal truth is nothing but Parabrahman, that is God. Across the world, if you read the scriptures, starting from Bible, Quran, Bhagavad Gita, and whatnot, all these spiritual treatises finally talk about the divine qualities in human being, which he or she is supposed to attain through various practices, including prayers, rituals, and like yajna, etc. So Upanishads also teach about the unity of the individual soul with the supreme reality. So even though we have 108 Upanishads, Sir, I am experiencing some disturbances. Even though we have 108 Upanishads, the 13 main Upanishads, we call them Mukhya Upanishads. And these Upanishads have been profoundly acknowledged, deeply studied, and very greatly discussed by the leaders of this nation. Say, for example, Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, former president of Janadhipati of this country, Swami Vivekananda, a famous monk, Mahatma Gandhiji, Rabindranath Tagore, and Aravind Ghosh. Many such great thinkers of this country, they have studied the Upanishad in very deeper, and they have also written commentaries on the Upanishads, especially the book titled The Principal Upanishads, written by Radhakrishnan, our former president of the country. He has completely engulfed the ideas of Upanishads, and he also has written very deeply as to how to inculcate the Upanishad values in the self, in the teacher, in the student, and particularly in the educational institutions. So this book stands a perfect embodiment of Upanishads. So the 13 main Upanishads are Isha Upanishad, which is part of the Shukla Yajurveda, Kena Upanishad, which is part of the Samaveda, Kato Upanishad, which is part of the Yajurveda, Prashna Upanishad, which is part of Atharva Veda, Mundaka Upanishad, which is found in Atharva Veda, Mandukya Upanishad, which is also part of the Atharva Veda, Taittiriya Upanishad, which is part of the Krishna Yajurveda, Aitreya Upanishad from the Rig Veda, Chandogya Upanishad from Samaveda, Brihadaranya Upanishad from Shukla Yajurveda, Svetashvatra Upanishad, and Kaushitaki Upanishad, and Maitri Upanishad. So these 13 Upanishads are found to be very much suitable for educational thinking. That is why I have mentioned only. So what these Upanishads talk about teacher-student relationship, that is Guru Sishya Parampara. The word teacher or the word professor, they are not belonging to this Indian culture. Teacher and student words, this terminology is actually belonging to the foreign philosophy like Europe and other countries. Our ancient words, the Indian words are Guru or Acharya. The Guru and Acharya are completely different from the words teacher and professors. The one who teach is called teacher. The one who professes the idea is professor. But the meaning of the word Guru is ultimately a great word. Guru is the one who makes light in the life of a student. Guru is the one who shows the path of life to the student. And Acharya is the one who actually inculcates the knowledge in his self, and he becomes an example in front of the student. That is a teacher who is implementing the teachings in his own life and becoming an example in front of the students. He is called Acharya. So these two words, Guru and Acharya, are the ultimate symbolism of the Upanishadic values when it comes to teacher and teaching. So educational transaction, that is knowledge transaction, is deeply personalized in the Vedic times. Now we talk about the personal teaching, one-to-one teaching or one-to-one care. But in those ancient times, every student was taken care by the teacher very personally. The teacher might have known his own problems that the students' personal problems, his personal life, his personal history, everything. The teacher must be very much aware about the weakness and strength of every student individually. That is the concept of Upanishad. Even in this modern time, we are talking about the like personalized teaching or personalized care. This was found in the Vedic times in our country. And the educational transaction remain sacred in the Upanishad tradition time, and they formalized through the Guru Sishya Parampara, that is lineage of a teacher and disciple perspective. So every student will have a connection with the teacher in a very personal way, that a divine connection. This connection is considered to be a father-son connection. So every teacher will behave like a father and every student will behave like a son or daughter. This was the divine relationship between a teacher and a student in the Vedic time, that is Upanishad time. And teacher is not just an instructor, but he remained to serve as a guide. He attained the knowledge which he wanted to impart in the students. And through that knowledge, he became experienced, he became realized. Then he transacted the knowledge to the student in the particular time period, which we call Gurukula Vasam. So ultimately, the teacher, that is Acharya, he became the role model in front of the students. So we called him Acharya. And the student must be easily approachable to the teacher. That also he has to approach the teacher with humility, that is very humbleness, sincerity, that is Shraddha, and the deep desire for learning the truth. These three important qualities are expected in every student in the Vedic time. So when the student is ready, teacher will appear. This is a famous quote of a Buddha philosophy. This was practiced in the olden times. Only when the student is very eager to listen to teacher, the teacher will show interest to teach the student. So the process often involves a period of intense discipline, service to the teacher, and a focused effort to purify the mind of a student. In our India, during the educational, during the school time or educational time, student must be unmarried and he must be away from the family and parents. He should dedicate his entire times only in the school, that is Gurukula, residential school, and he has to serve the teacher. He has to take care of the other works of the Gurukula. This way he became a skilled person in the Gurukula. And various methodologies were adopted by the teacher in the Gurukula system. It is often known as dialogue system, that is conversation between the student and teacher. And also parables, direct instruction of the Mahavakya, that is sayings of the Guru. So a student must be available all the time in the Gurukula system to get the knowledge from the Guru. And there were several methods of teaching learning process. The three important learning process are Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. These three are even now practiced in the Hindu philosophical schools like Ashram and Mat. If you go to Ramakrishna Mat, Ramakrishna Ashram, you can find all these practices. Even in Kerala, we have big mutts and ashrams like Chinmaya's ashram or Amritanandamai ashram. In many ashrams, these ancient practices are still in use. Instead of simply knowing these words, we have to realize the words. Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Shravana means listening or hearing the teacher. Even in the modern research, in the educational action research, a student, when he listens to a teacher or when he listens to an audio or an instruction, he is able to first understand the concept. So hearing or listening is an important practice in education. This is an initial step. When a student is obediently sitting in the class and he is mentally and physically ready to listen to the teacher, and he is becoming a qualified student. And this process requires a focused mind and a receptive mind in a student. So the first step is listening, Shravana. And the second step is Manana. After listening a concept, after listening to a teacher, student has to recall it. He has to contemplate on it. Contemplate means thinking very deeply the meaning of the teachings. So the student critically examines the concept and he uses his logical brain and he uses his reasoning brain to understand. Therefore, he will get a lot of doubts. The doubts should be discussed with the teacher in the next day class. Then the teacher will clarify the doubts of a student. This way, the student start processing the knowledge and he starts thinking deeply about the doubts, and finally he assimilates the knowledge into his brain and intellect. So these two steps are very crucial steps. And the third step is Nidityasanam. Nidityasanam means experiencing the knowledge or applying the knowledge in the practical life. This is the final and most crucial step which is involved in the kind of experiencing or implementing the concept in his real life. So only after experiencing or realization, he can accept the particular concept in the education system. This is called Anubhavi knowledge. So, which is called realization. This is also called practical application of the concept. The same thing was proposed by Mahatma Gandhiji. Mahatma Gandhiji promoted a very practical and application-oriented education system, which he called learning by doing. As a B.Ed students, you would have already learned this fact. When a student hears an information, he may remember. But the same student, when he looks at an image or looks at an object, he will be still more able to understand the concept. But when you allow the student to do something in a very practical way, then he will never forget the concept. This is what Mahatma Gandhiji explained in his educational philosophy called learning by doing. This was taken from Mahatma Gandhiji from the Upanishadic concept. The Upanishad always says that when a student is exposed to do some experiment, hands-on experiment, he will not forget the concept. He will remember the concept for lifelong. This is called lifelong learning. And there are also other methods of educating in the Vedic time, Upanishad time, which are called dialogue and questioning. And frequently, the Upanishad present the teaching in the form of dialogues, which is called samvada. In Malayalam also, the same word is used, samvada. That is dialogue between the Guru and the Sishya. You might have heard that in Bhagavad Gita, in the entire 18th chapter, there were only questions and answers. Krishna kept on answering the questions of the Partha. And Partha kept on questioning the Krishna. So these both were having a dialogue, and which we call Bhagavad Gita. So our culture, our ancient culture, allowed the students to question the teacher. Teacher will never get angry when the student keep questioning. And actually the Acharya or Guru encourages the student to keep on asking the questions. And the Upanishads have profound inquiry method also. Major Upanishads like Brihadaranya Upanishad, Kato Upanishad, they are structured around the student questions. When you read the Upanishad, you will find only questions and answers. So when the student is allowed to ask more questions, teacher will be able to give more clarity by giving more answers. So this method encourages active participation of the student and critical inquiry process between the student and the teacher. This is called Socratic method. The guru often leads the student through a series of questions, analogies. Analogy means like giving examples from the real life. Say, for example, you might have heard it actually. When the guru wanted to explain the philosophy of Brahman, Parabrahman, he took the example of the space, Akasham. Just like the space Akasham is unlimited, the God or the divine energy is also unlimited. God has no form. He has no kind of, like form and name. Every name is the name of God, and God has no form. So this was compared with the analogy of the space, that is Akasham. This way, in the Vedic time, everything was explained using the intellect and giving some analogical examples. So when it comes to the Taittiriya Upanishad, which is found in the Krishna Yajurveda, and this Taittiriya Upanishad has been mentioned in the National Curriculum Framework of NCERT books. After 2024 edition, NCERT has included the Taittiriya Upanishad and Panchakosha education in the NCF because this Upanishads talks about the human holistic personality, which is called Panchakosha Vikasam. Panchakosha Vikasam mean the development of student in 5 dimensions or 5 levels. This Upanishad was discussed by Bhrigu Maharishi, who lived in the Vedic period, and this has been compiled in the Krishna Yajurveda. Okay, and in this Taittiriya Upanishad, they mention 5 levels of development in individual or a student. The first level is Annamaya Kosha Vikas, that is development of the human body or physical body of the student. And the second level is Pranamaya Kosha, which is vital energy of the human body. We normally think that only oxygen and carbon dioxide is exchanged in the human body. But Upanishad explains that there are Dasha Vayu, 10 different Vayu. Vayu means like prana. There are 10 different Vayu. The first 5 Vayu are called Mukhya Prana, and the another 5 are called Upaprana. But in modern science, in the the present day modern medical system have not explored the Dasha Pranas, the 5 plus 5 pranas. But in ancient time, the Pranamaya Kosha concept has explained one individual can manage or administer his body by doing a practice called pranayama and by keeping the balance of all the 10 pranic energy in the body. So a human individual has to develop his pranic body or energy body by practices. This is second thing. The third dimension or third level is Manonmaya Kosha, that is mental layer or mental dimensions. In the modern education concept, we talk about the emotional maturity or emotional intelligence in the students. Our Vedic time also had talked about this Manonmaya Kosha, that is developing the emotional layer of a student. Coming to the fourth layer, Vijnanamaya Kosha, that is development of scientific and intellectual layer in the students. This is already practiced across the world. Whatever science and mathematics we teach, we learn is coming in the category of Vijnanamaya Kosha. But Vedas and Upanishads, they have a different meaning for the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnana does not mean only science. Vijnana means a special scientific knowledge, meaning that Vijnanamaya Kosha is a layer of an individual, example, Buddhi, Jnanam, intelligence, applying the knowledge, discriminating different things. It will keep on going. There is a long list of aspects in the Vijnanamaya Kosha. So, the Vedic time has explained more deeply than the modern times. So, it is a marvelous thing found in the Upanishad. And the fifth layer is Anandamaya Kosh, that is development of a bliss body in the student or individual. The word Ananda does not mean happiness. Happiness is a state of mind when you attain something or when you are satisfied with money or anything. So, happiness is something which a person can attain by some material substances. But the word Ananda, Ananda means blissfulness, that is unconditional happiness or unconditional feeling of bliss, which is an experience of charity, an experience of giving help to others. We always quote this example. When a student attained the top rank in the college, he became happy. When a student attained first place in a competition, he became happy. But when a student gave some donation or charity to a poor student, he will attain Ananda, Anandamaya, that is blissfulness. So happiness is attained by some material, but the Ananda is attained by giving donations or charity or help to the society. So the Anandamaya Kosha means developing the social consciousness, developing the social concerns, or developing the societal concern in the student mind. This is called Anandamaya Kosh. So this 5-level approach or 5-level development in any children or any individual or a student is the ultimate goal of this Taittiriya Upanishad. Now you can compare this approach to the modern day education syllabus. They have mentioned this in a different way, like physical quotient, mental quotient, intellectual quotient, spiritual quotient, and social quotient. So the same concept has been explained by Bhrigu Maharishi like 10,000 years ago in the Taittiriya Upanishad, which is part of the Krishna Yajurveda. So we as Indians must be very proud to have been born in this country. Such a great thinkers and philosophers were born in this country before 10,000 years in the Vedic time. So this Panchakosha concept is very much very much suitable for the present day life and present day education system. That is why National Curriculum Framework have included now the concept of Panchakosha in the education system. And now we are creating syllabus content. The NCERT is working on how to inculcate the concept of Panchakosha in every topic. Say, for example, if you teach Apple in the grade 1 class or grade 2 class, the concept of apple can be explained in Panchakosha level. Say, for example, when you explain the apple in physical level, that is Annamaya Kosha, you have to explain its color, its shape, its size, and how it was cultivated. This is Annamaya Kosha. And when the students look at an apple, the first student will only like the color. So color is always attracts the mind, and the shape is attracts mind. So when you explain the color and shape, students will connect it to Manonmaya Kosha, that is liking or disliking. And similarly, when you talk about Vijnanamaya Kosha, you have to explain what are the nutrients available in this apple. This is Vijnanamaya Kosha explanation for apple. And when you talk about Pranamaya Kosha, how this apple is like cultivated and how the apple tree took the nutrients from the soil and storing the nutrients in the form of apple. This is Pranamaya Kosh. And when it comes to Anandamaya Kosh, the apple actually sacrifices its life for the human life and other animals. This way, the apple is giving its own self to the society. This way, every topic can be prepared in the concept of Panchakosha blueprint or Panchakosha format, and you can teach this to your students, and they will really amazed, and students will become very much enthusiastic when you explain any concept in this Panchakosha blueprint or Panchakosha format. This can be applied in the school level, this can be applied in the higher education level, and sometimes the same concept can be applied in the research level. This is possible across the levels of education. So ultimately, this Panchakosha is linked with physical maturation and emotional maturation, intellectual advancement, and improving the self-awareness in the students and facilitating the connection between the student and the society. So some other time, I will try to visit your college for having a practical session, how to prepare curriculum and syllabus for each topic using this Panchakosha framework. So there are 5 stages, as I explained already. We have to establish a healthy physical body among the students. We have to establish an emotionally developed children with the help of various activities in the classroom, in the corridor, in the ground. And we have to create holistic intelligence or intellectual sharpness in the children. And we have to establish self-awareness, self-confidence, and self-discipline in the children from the very beginning level. And finally, we have to create social awareness and social consciousness along with spiritual development in the children. So there are various other activities which can be discussed in the practical class. So for a few examples I have given, if you want to develop physical dimension of your children or student, you have to teach them various activities like daily yoga, daily exercise, small jumping practices, and simple yoga postures. And you have to involve them in the sports and games. You have to teach them a small stretching practices like jumping from the bench and jumping on the floor. Many other small activities and indoor and outdoor activities are there. So when you do all these practices, they will physically become fit. At the same time, you talk about food and nutrient to the children. You teach them how the food is very important for building of this physical body and how nutrients are very much essential for fighting against the diseases and how carbohydrates are important for the energy in the body. This way, you have to inculcate food and nutrients in the form of simple teaching methods. And similarly, you encourage the children to take rest and to take proper sleep and ask them to relax in a proper way. Because sleep is very essential part of the Annamaya Kosh. Only when the physical body is at rest, the metabolic process will happen properly in the physical body. So many children in this recent time, they don't sleep properly. They always use mobile phone and gadgets during the sleep time. So this affects their health ultimately. So you have to teach the children to avoid the mobile phone on bed and instruct them to have a good sleep for at least 6 to 8 hours. This way, the Annamaya Kosha will slowly develop in the self. And similarly, we have to teach hygiene practices in the classroom and how to become hygienic in the classroom, in the ground, in the travel time, at the same time in the home. So parents also require this knowledge. So the personal hygienic education is very much important to the children. When it comes to Manonmaya Kosha development, you have to develop the emotional maturity in the children by various practices. Say, for example, empathy training is there. In the B.Ed syllabus, you would have heard it, empathy training. How to inculcate the sympathy and empathy in the children through some small games and sport activity. And you have to teach them emotional regulation, emotional literacy, mindful meditation, okay, and so many other small practices are there, like music, dancing, puzzle games, brain teasers games, engaging the students in debates and discussions, and removing the negative thoughts from them, creating a positive atmosphere in the classroom, and asking the children to draw diagrams, to draw images, and asking them to dance to the music. So many other activities you can plan in the classroom. And third is intellectual development or Vijnanamaya Kosham. So through logical puzzles, riddles, and brain teasers, you can induce the cognitive development in the children. Also, you ask them to make questions, create questions, and make them create assumptions, and give them some, a kind of question making and answering. So many other questioning skills can be developed. So questioning skill is a part of Vijnanamaya Kosham. And also you involve the children in holistic scientific perspective, like asking them to do some small projects in science and give them small research projects which will be done in the home, and ask them to display their scientific experiments. Small experiments can be done in the classroom, and like educational games like memory games, science-based games. All these games must be created by teacher, not by any book. Okay, don't copy anything from any book. As a teacher student, you have to sit and you have to prepare all these kind of materials, and also give some problem-based learning to students. This way, slowly the Vijnanamaya Kosha, that is the scientific layer of the students, will develop in the classroom. And this Pranamaya Kosha is ultimately self-discipline, self-awareness, self-development, and self-control in the students. This can be taught only through some discipline practice, like standing in the queue, walking in the queue, and wherever they are crowded, you have to make them stand in a one queue. So this way, discipline can be taught in a very practical way. Instead of telling them orally or theoretically, you demonstrate every discipline aspect in a practical way. This way, students will slowly inculcate the disciplines in them. Because now the important lekana is that students, they don't have self-discipline and self-confidence. You might have heard this. A student who becomes the topper in the IIT exam and he joins IITs, and sometimes he becomes vexed and he commits suicide. So a student of such an intellectual background and all India top rank does not have the confidence to lead the life, and he commits suicide. So what is happening here? So the education system has not given a confidence to lead the life in the self. So this way, through this Vedic approach and Upanishad approach, you can develop a sense of self-confidence in the student's life. And such a student is required for the country now. So I'm skipping for the final, the fifth one, social consciousness or Annamaya Kosha Vikas. So social consciousness should be inculcated in the children in the beginning classes itself. And he has to learn as to how to help the society in various ways. That is why the NSS and NCC were introduced in the education system. Students are learning to contribute to the country, to the society, to the family members through involving them in various activities like like Swachh Bharat activity and cleaning the temples, cleaning the streets, helping the poor in the orphanage home, and helping the elder people in the old age home. This way, we have to expose the children to various activities related to like charity and social concern. So this way, students will slowly develop the social responsibility in them. Patriotism and nationalistic perspective is also important. Now, most of our students, they don't have love for the nation. They don't have patriotism in them. Patriotism does not limit to only national anthem or saying the Jai Hind or saying Bharat Mata Ki Jai. This is all only theoretical knowledge. The real patriotism, real nationalism comes possible only when the student learns to give back to society, and the student has to give contribution to his own society. Only then that can be called patriotism. So student has to be taught how to protect the nature, how to conserve the natural resources, how to protect the water resources, and how to keep the environment clean and spick. All these practices should be taught only in the school, because when they come to college, they are actually not ready to learn all these things. So school is the place where we can teach all these social values in the children. So when these social values are developed, the Anandamaya Kosh, that is the social layer of the children, will slowly develop. Somebody asked Swami Vivekananda, what is spirituality? Many people think that spirituality means doing prayers, performing puja, and building temples. But Swami Vivekananda told that spirituality means service to society without any selfishness. So a selfless service to society is the real spirituality. So the spiritual quotient or social quotient will develop in children only when they are exposed to contribute to the society. So there are many Upanishads. I have time only to explain the Taittiriya Upanishad. When you go and read the Kena Upanishad, you will have several teachings about the teacher and the values of a teacher and disciplines of the student, art of questioning and continuous self-improvement of a teacher and student, significance of time and experience, and humbleness in the student. Many other qualities have been explained by Kena Upanishad. So I will share my PowerPoint with the principal sir. You can get it from him and you can start learning all these things. And the Prashna Upanishad gives glimpses as to how to question, how to think and how to question. Nowadays, our students don't know how to make questions and how to think. So this Prashna Upanishad gives you a clarity. So how questions can be raised and how thinking can be started. Okay, all these things can be found in Prashna Upanishad. And the Mundaka Upanishad gives teachings about the teacher-student relationship and searching for the true knowledge and searching for the, like the godly knowledge, self-realization, chastity, self-discipline, dedicating this life to the society. All these values have been explained in Mundaka Upanishad. So this way, Upanishads are serving as a repository of knowledge, and they have profound insights for the present day society. So my humble request to all the participants that you kindly purchase the at least 12 Upanishad from the Ramakrishna Mutt or Amritanandam, wherever it is possible. I think the Ramakrishna Mutt have published all Upanishads in a simple English explanations. When you read it, you will have a tranquility within you. And many times I have heard many of my friends have told that after reading the Upanishad, their characters have changed. They have become a perfect human being in their life. And it is an opportunity for an individual to travel within or travel inward, which is called tranquilance in the self. So your self can be perfectioned by learning the Upanishad, especially a teacher. A teacher should learn Upanishad to become a perfect teacher, because the society will accept if any other professional commit mistake, but the same society will not accept the mistake of a teacher, because society expects perfection in a teacher. Society always wants a teacher to lead a perfect life and disciplined life. So as a teachers, it is our responsibility to become a perfect teacher and a teacher to the expectation level of the society. So with this presentation, I conclude my talk, and now I have time for 5 minutes to clarify if any doubts are raised. Principal sir, if there are any doubts, I'm happy to answer.
Teacher.
Dear participants, if you have any doubts or questions regarding the session, you may ask now.
Teacher. Teacher.
Sir, conclude ചെയ്യാൻ.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
So, as we come to the closure of this event, on behalf of Mar Baselios College of Education Sultan Bathery and the Internal Quality Assurance Cell in collaboration with Vidyabhyasa Vikasa Kendram Kerala, I take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made today's webinar on educational principles, methods, and ethics in the Upanishads a meaningful and enriching experience. First and foremost, I extend our deepest gratitude to our respected principal, Dr. Sunit Kumar GN, for his constant encouragement, leadership, and for guiding us in organizing this meaningful session. Now, I express our sincere thanks to our esteemed resource person, Dr. M. Santhosh Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Biochemistry, Kongunadu Arts and Science College, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu, for sharing his valuable insights. Your lecture was deeply thought-provoking and had us indeed given a fresh perspective of the timeless wisdom of Upanishads. Thank you, sir. I also place on record our sincere thanks to Dr. N.C. Indushudan, State President, Vidyabhyasa Vikasa Kendram, Kerala, for his gracious presence and support. A warm thank you to Mr. B.K. Priyesh, Secretary, and Dr. Rajesh P.P. and Dr. V.G.K. Ramakrishnan for their valuable cooperation in making this collaborative program successful. A heartfelt appreciation goes to our program convener, Ms. Irene Joy KJ, Assistant Professor in General Education, whose dedication and effort were central to the smooth conduct of this event. And finally, I would also like to thank all the faculty members, participants, and my fellow classmates for joining us today and making this webinar vibrant. Thank you all.
My sincere thanks to Dr. Sunit Kumar sir, who is an active principal I have seen, and a person of continuous learning and continuous action. So thank you, sir, for organizing continuous webinars. I wish the same thing to continue in the days to come.
Okay, thanks, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.